Hello, welcome to Black Metal and Brews, a program in which I strive to find myself by talking into a screen and the microphone attached in a device, whether it's my computer or telephone. Sometimes others watch and join in. Today is yet another live stream because if you're watching from the future, hopefully there is a future. Uh, we're currently undergoing a global pandemic and striving for normalcy. I'm doing something familiar and lovely. At least I find it lovely, which is drinking a beer and listening to music I enjoy and sharing with you. And hello, we are the future. I sure hope we are. COVID-19. I hope that that's not true. I hope that nobody watching this knows anybody who will pass away from it, but we don't know. It's terrifying. So I've got, I've got a lot planned today in terms of just what's going on. So I picked a few soothing albums because things are crazy, and today is the year anniversary of my hospitalization for my ulcerative colitis. And so I thought comfort is the direction I'd like to go. So I have selected a couple of tapes and a record, and I'm not sure which one I'll play. If anybody has feedback, that's cool, and if not, I'll just pick one. We have, as I pulled out yesterday, Regret by Tanner Garza. It's certainly not the most uplifting thing, but it's soothing and it's beautiful, kind of ambient tape loop, noisy, warm sounding stuff, but also there's a darkness to it. Additionally, on cassette, the first Fog Weaver tape. Kind of hard to see, but it's a lovely little thing. Dungeon synth inspired by the Earthsea saga from Ursula K. Le Guin. She's a wonderful author, and this is a wonderful tape. And finally, we're not going to listen to all of these, but we'll pick one of them. We've got the Star Alliance by Varg, of course, named after a travel group, so it's interesting since nobody should be traveling right now. But if any of those sound good to you, dear viewer or listener tuning in live, let me know. So again, we've got Tanner Garza's Regret, Fog Weaver's self-titled debut cassette, or Varg's Star Alliance. Varg is not Varg the Cairns. It is an electronic. Which thing is for my tape deck? As this is a relatively new setup for me here. Cool. So I believe a different edition came out later with colorful cassettes, but this is the original Fog Weaver tape. And it's darn beautiful. Sounds like we're on the right channel here. Thanks for being with me. Hopefully the sound comes on soon. Let's just decide, and I have completely goofed and played it and not rewound it. So let's see. Let's see what happens if I flip it. Not going as well as I'd hoped this would go. That's okay though. I think the tape deck again is newer, although it is fully functional. It's a newer. I'll play Fog Weaver tomorrow because I could always use some comforting sounds in strange and trying times. So I know which one to go to for records. There we go. We'll throw this on, and Fog Weaver will come soon. This Varg thing was originally a 6-tape box set and is now a double LP. I believe there's a couple tracks missing. Beautiful music that I am happy to share with you. There we are. So, only took me about 7 minutes to get to that. There. So you'll notice I don't have a glass for my beer because Heady Topper says drink from the can, which is what I'm going to do. And maybe at some point I'll get out of the glass and just pour a little so we can all take a look at it. But this is meant to be enjoyed directly from the can, which is how most of America at least drinks their beer. At any given time, straight from the can, straight from the bottle. So I feel maybe that's a bridge for the non-craft drinker. Oh, and that's got a huge kind of pineapple, mango, hop, citrus characteristic. It smells wonderful, very, very strong tropical fruit character. And this is a double IPA, which is, if you know from watching, not always my favorite style. IPAs in general are often just needlessly bitter. But that is quite good, though. It is very bitter, very, very hoppy, but it's a good flavor. It's well balanced, and I enjoy it. So I'm happy to have that. Let's see. And there's a whole there's just a whole piece on here. It's not quite like a Dr. Bronner's soap bottle, but there's quite a bit of information on the side of the beer, which I find interesting. Maybe I'll read it to you because goodness knows none of us have anything better to do. Here I am, and here you are. Sorry. So, Heady Topper is an American double India pale ale. This beer is not intended to be the biggest or most bitter. It is meant to give you wave after wave of hoppy goodness on your palate. Tremendous amounts of American hops will creep up on you and leave you with a dense hoppy finish in your mouth, so drinkable it's scary. It is quite drinkable. Sometimes I wish I could crawl right into the can. Freshness and control have always been my main concern when it comes to our beer. We are committed to providing you with an unfiltered and unpasteurized hop experience. Why do I recommend that you drink it from the can? Quite simply to ensure a delightful hop experience. The act of pouring in the glass smells nice, but it releases the essential hop aromas that we've worked so hard to retain. If you must pour it into a glass, you may find that some of the hop resins have settled to the bottom. Leave them in the can when pouring. This beer is perishable and at its best when young, fresh, and hazy. Keep it cold but not ice cold. Okay, so unsurprising. It's I appreciate that it's not totally like chest pounding about it, but it's also it's sometimes I wonder if people buy into their own press a little much. But maybe that's the sort of confidence you need. I mean, I know that arrogant bastard like climb into the can is weird and maybe over the top. I don't think I've ever had a beer something that I want to force myself into something the size of my fist, but people are weird. I'm weird. I'm sitting here drinking beer on the internet for an audience. That's totally bizarre. Yeah. So, again, I wanted to address comfort today, which is why we have kind of a creature comfort beer, like a real, well-known one, and comforting music. I'm not going to make this too about me, but again, a year ago I was hospitalized. I still have not recovered from my condition. I'm going to have this disease for the rest of my life. It's ulcerative colitis, so it's not a contagious thing. I didn't do anything to get it. It just is. With the state of the world, I mean, knowing that, I could do everything right, you could do everything right, and still possibly get a virus that has gone around because of somebody's negligence, or maybe even with nobody being negligent, you just get it because life isn't fair and luck isn't great. I have no idea. Like, that's crazy. That's scary. So instead of meditating on these scary things or talk about our PMA or anything like that, but I think it's important to figure out what you appreciate, what's bringing you joy, especially in times like this where it's harder to see that and it almost feels frivolous to find joy. For me, it's been obviously music and finding community through this. The act of doing it itself actually feels really vain and weird to me. I'm not an arrogant person. If anything, I'm seeing myself more on this computer screen than I've seen myself in the mirror in the last year, and it's really weird. Like I'm not that into myself, and maybe I'm learning to like myself partially by doing this, but it's hard. So I'm finding comfort in having a ritual saying, okay, at 5:30 or 5:45 or 6 o'clock, I'm going to drink a beer. I'm going to film it. We're going to talk. Whether it's one person in here with me or there's seven, it's never more than that. Uh, it matters to have something to do, have a purpose, feel like you're doing something, even if maybe you aren't. I don't know if I'm impacting anybody in any way, but it matters to me. I've taken joy in cooking. Sometimes I'm also too lazy to cook, and that's important to just accept. But it's been fun. I made like a vegetarian full English breakfast a couple days in a row, and that was really nice. Just to take pride in that. I don't know, it was nice. Uh, I've demoed a couple things that I've been wanting to record for forever. Getting over that kind of self-loathing and anxiety, and just saying, "Hell with it, I'm gonna record this. It matters. It's great." You know, uh, I've totally been leaning into the cute animal videos life. You should too, unless you're really not into animals, which I respect, but I can't understand if you're that way. Sanders, my guy personally, but maybe not yours, and I think that. Growling at his grandchild, pretending to be a monster after the grandkid woke him up from sleeping. I thought that was really cute. Uh, I think it's important to just find very human things. When we're apart, like the internet leads us to a curated version of ourselves, and it's so important to me to kind of ditch the curation and find the humanity and connection, which is why like warts and all I'm here. Uh, I guess it's not a wart, it's a mole, but same thing. I gotta lean in because my vision is horrible. On videos of a girl teaching the dog to talk through button commands, I love that. Please throw that at me via email or on Twitter or wherever. That sounds great. I would always like to see a video of a girl teaching a dog to talk. Like, there's, I think most people know Coco, the gorilla, who did sign language. But there's oh gosh, I remember. I think it's in Iowa. There's an ape sanctuary where they've taught like this one ape. Like there's a whole touch screen of commands and symbols that it uses to communicate. And it'll be like, get me an orange or whatever. And I love it. It makes me so happy. There's a part of me that wishes I could go visit it and just become its friend, but also I don't think that I would do any good for something like that, and I'd much rather let it live its best life. Uh, there's a bear sanctuary in upstate New York. I want to say it's upstate. It's somewhere that's not here in the city and not on Long Island. Is that all upstate? To me, it feels like it is. It's like not here. But I realize there's a lot of New York that isn't the city. Um, and in this bear sanctuary, like the husband always the husband is probably like 6'5" or something huge, and the bears are still like huge next to him, but he like kind of wrestles them the way I would a Labrador or something, and it's so endearing to see them come together, to see just that sense of family they've got and how much. I mean, these are this couple's kids basically. I like seeing good animals doing good things, living with people that get them. Also, there's a chimpanzee on Instagram named Limbani that I'm in love with. He is super cute. He makes paintings and he like helps like drive. I don't think he actually does, but there's videos of him driving in like the golf cart around the property where he is at some animal rescue. Things like that just really make me happy. I could talk about animals for like the next 30 minutes straight with other thoughts. And then gosh, what else is there? I've been watching a lot of documentaries, mostly at the prompting of my better half. Not because I don't want to, but because it's always hard for me to sit and watch something. But if somebody's watching it with me, it's easy for me to be like, okay, I've committed to this, and I always enjoy it. We watched a bunch on like Manchester music scene and Britpop and stuff like that. And yeah, when Bonnie playing the keyboard is gold. Oh man, that's a classic. Like, dude is writing the hits. That's how I feel when I'm trying to make music. Half the time, I'm like let's just sit on this fucking thing and hope for the best. But you know, I think just it's been a chance for me to remember the things that make me feel good. And even though I'm still incredibly depressed and hope is often hard to find, I think because I'm in a place where I really need it, I've been better at seeking it and better kind of kicking my own ass into gear and finding things that make life better, make life more interesting. Um, and that's awesome. I finally started writing again, as I'm sure you've seen. I published my best of 2019 list. Uh, those things are so stressful for me that I'll just get writer's block simply because it's like daunting to me. And I already realized like I forgot like 5 records that really mattered to me. Among them, off the top of my head, Bull Vapus, Bull Bronze. It's really great. Another one from the individual makes Fog Weavers in that band. The Wolve album, Drone Activity, is really good. I don't know how to say it. Jorge, I think Elbrecht had this album called Coral Cross. It was amazing, just totally bizarre, kind of psychedelic black metal. Very cold, but not super wintry, if that makes any sense. Love that. If you have to list your favorite things, I guarantee you're going to forget part of it because there's like the pressure. Whereas normally you could just think, oh, I would like to hear that. Of course, you know you love it. But that's been weird. Yeah. So I don't know about you. I find this music comforting. I realize it's not like pretty, beautiful ambient, but like it's really. I think a lot of electronic music like this taps into a core, more primal level. It's just like really easy to groove along to, and it feels very good. So I realize I've mostly been talking about things that are not the beer. Back to the beer for a minute. Yeah, mid-period a little bit. Yeah, it does have a lot of that kind of that glee. I think this guy is aware of metal's dabblings in electronic music, even though he's clearly not a heavy metal guy. Um, which is not too bitter. It's very flavorful. Lots of hops. If you don't love hops, you won't love this beer. I don't love hops. I still think it's good though. Like I'm enjoying it. I had one at family Thanksgiving, and this is my second. And I'm happy to have it again. I think Vermont's craft beer scene just kicks ass. And while I don't think, having lived in the city now, I could ever go live somewhere that's not like Brooklyn or Los Angeles. Well, when I lived in Tampa, we had a lot of great beer. Like, I feel like anytime you're anywhere that isn't an inherently rich experience on its own, the beer is going to be good. I don't think that's like a causal relationship. It's just what I know so far. Even like when we went to Des Moines to see my girlfriend's family for the holidays a couple of years ago, like we have amazing craft beer scene going there. So which is cool. Like I'm glad, but also I'm like, and we got a ton here in New York too. I just don't get out as often as I'd like. Maybe once this all rolls over, my colitis will also give me a fucking break, so I can go out and have beers from places that aren't the bodega around the corner. That would be really great. Like I miss connecting with beer culture. I think a lot of beer people suck ass, but beer itself is really good, and I like keeping up with it. I like interesting tastes, and I don't know. I mean, as a music person, I'm a collector of things, and I think one of the things that I like to collect the most is experiences, which is why I go to too many concerts, and it's why I like to try new foods and drinks. Just what I do. Maybe you enjoy it too. Maybe that's why you're tuned in. Um, I hope you get a new experience. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a spaceship that's about to take off here. It's really cool. It's really good. I feel good about it. I'm ready to just be beamed up in a way. I was going to say this art on the can, which didn't display earlier as well because the lighting from outside was too strong. It's like this guy like drinking beer and hops are exploding at the back of his head. Well, funny. Well, funny. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That does not look like the experience that I personally wish to have. And speaking of design, again, now that the lighting's a little more on our side, we're going to examine the album a little more closely. There isn't a whole lot to the packaging of this one. It's just a simple, inlay, just simple black vinyl. It's a double LP. I don't think I'm going to subject you to me going through two whole record sets. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Oh, hey, let's flip the record. Here we are. Yeah, and here's the real like mid-period Olver sort of sound to it. I almost put on the Teachings in Silence record as like one of the things in the rotation for today, but I realized I'm a little too much of an Ultra fan, and at some point I'm probably going to do like a run where I play a bunch of their records days in a row because that's what I do. I'm sure maybe those days I'll get like 5 viewers consistently. Because people always love what they already know, which I find interesting. The whole reason I do a lot of this, like music discovery, beer discovery, is to find new things. But I think people do take comfort in the familiar. So, if you're here and this isn't something you already knew, thank you for being here. Yeah, I really like the kind of glitchy minimalism and just kind of like cold, disconnected electronic music that isn't so cold. It's like inhuman. Again, I like electronic music that's not made for dancing. Although I like some of the dance stuff too, but I really like the pensive stuff, like Gas. It's wonderful if you're not familiar with Gas. The Narco Pop album, especially from a couple of years ago, is phenomenal. Again, that was another one that I was looking at and thought, oh, I'll pull this up, but it's a triple LP set, and I would not want to play that one without playing the whole thing, and I think it was like 75 minutes or something, and I just thought, nobody wants to watch me that long. I don't want to do this that long. That's not cool or fair, but it's nice to have you here for this. Thank you. So, yeah, comforts. Silence and peacefulness are also some of them. I am, I guess, by nature a talker, which is why I seem to manage to do these and feel comfortable doing them. But I've spent a lot of time not talking lately because I'm, home here with my girlfriend, and we don't really have any arguments or anything. The last thing I want to do is find my way into one by letting my need to talk too much get the better of me. And it's actually been really good. Sitting with my thoughts and sitting with myself. Not that all my thoughts are good right now. A lot of them are dark and strange, but it's, I guess, better to face them than to be manic and running from them. William Basinski, yeah, for those not seeing the live chat, got a comment saying I keep returning to William Basinski. And yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of people, my intro was the Disintegration Loops. I found that maybe a decade ago or so. Around the time I got the internet, about 10 years ago. And it was one of those just like mind-blowing things for me. Did you, and William Basinski actually just put on Bandcamp a couple days ago, like actual songs that he recorded with like a vocalist and stuff in the 80s, which is kind of crazy to me. I really did not expect that from him. Described it as gothic. I only listened to a song and a half, simply because my attention span sometimes isn't the best, but I thought that was really interesting. It was not what I expected at all. I'm like, oh, new Basinski. This is gonna be one thing, and I got something very different, which I bet is really good. It just wasn't what I was thinking when I clicked play. Gonna take a sip of water because it's important to stay hydrated. This shit, you don't want to have another sickness going on. Saw William Basinski in a cathedral with people sleeping on the floor. I've never seen William Basinski, but I'd love to. Oh man, but he's. I mean, I'm gonna fully admit I don't. Modern classical and a lot of that kind of like soothing drone that's popular. I don't know a lot beyond a lot of the surface level stuff, but I really love it. Like I love Philip Glass, which I feel like is a very basic thing. I love Nils Fromm or whatever, but and William Basinski, the Venice, and all that stuff too. Like I love it so much, and I always want more like that, but I never know where to find that. Like with black metal, it's been easy for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna find this distro and they've got this weird shit, and then I find another label through that. But a lot of music is not as you can't just network by record label or who people are gigging with. Your next direction is going to be, and I've never been a message board person, so like a lot of people go to message boards to find new music, and just for me, it's not that I'm not social. I'm not social like that. Maybe I don't want to go onto a message board just to lay out the whole thing, and it's weird to me. Yeah, this is quite tasty. I don't know if this needs to be given the legendary status that a lot of people treat it as having, but it's good. 8% alcohol by volume, and it's a single pint, so you will feel it, but it will not wreck you, which is a nice balance. I love Belgian beer above all else, so I'm often putting myself in dangerous positions because they all seem to come in like 22-ounce bottles. We have a latecomer, and hello and welcome, Chris. I am drinking the Heady Topper. It's from the Alchemist. It's a Vermont beer that is meant to be consumed from the can. It's a double IPA. Nice, good kind of tropical fruit nose. Very smooth drinking though. It's not overwhelmingly, it's not in that kind of one-upsmanship contest that a lot of IPAs seem to be in, especially here in the U.S. We're listening to Varg. Obviously, Varg is not the black metal Varg. It's a good electronic musician who I really love. Digging for souls. And see, I'm certainly not ancient, but I had the internet as a teenager, but it was a dial-up connection, and my parents allotted half an hour a day that I was allowed to go online. So I would like go to AOL and load a single music video and watch it in that time. And then about 10 years ago, I finally got a laptop and got Wi-Fi. No, less than that. It was 2011 maybe. Yeah, 2011. I got my own computer and started looking at music on the internet and finding blogs. I didn't get SoulSeek till I was like 27, 28. And I use it a little, but especially now I don't, for a lot of reasons. Shitty Wi-Fi in my home being one of them. But yeah, I think I always wonder how different my teen years would have been if I'd had the internet as like this treasure trove to dig through rather than record stores. I'm not gonna say better or worse. I don't think there's a wrong way to consume music, but I do think that my teen habit of I'd hoard money from my job at Taco Bell, and I'd buy 1 or 2 CDs a week, and that was all I'd listen to. Was like, oh, I've got this new Phantom on CD, and I'm gonna listen to that. I'm obsessed with that. Or here's Naked City, or here's, you know, I mean, I was very much into the Mike Patton and Dillinger Escape Plan sort of world, so it was a lot of stuff like that. Or I mean, black metal was in there too. I remember getting Transylvanian Hunger and not understanding it. Lots of Opeth and stuff like that. But I wonder where my music taste would have gone if I'd been part of an internet community about music instead of living in Guerneville, California. I think it made me appreciate the act of listening with focus on one's own, at least. Maybe it would have been the same online. I don't know. But I know now that I get like promos in my email, like when I just get records sent to me, not physical. I'm not that special, but it definitely has changed. When I'm like, oh, I have 7 new albums today in my inbox. I can't possibly have the experience that I had when it was like I'm saving money to buy the new Nine Inch Nails album. That just, it isn't a thing. I like talking about music too much. It said my connection was unstable. Was everybody still able to see me? Wouldn't surprise me if things are dipping out. As I said, the Wi-Fi here is not always great. Unless I'm still live and there's still people watching, so I imagine it didn't go away for too long. So thanks for sticking in there. Yeah, this kind of like it's driving, but it's not dance driving. It's just like that kind of focused, tight, rhythmic, minimalist, ambient techno sort of thing, or ambient house, or I don't know what it is. I really love. There's a lot of the Northern Electronics folks, which this guy's part of, are great in that. Well, a lot of the aesthetic house people as well. And this is Posh Isolation put this out. If you're not familiar with the Posh Isolation label, I'm a little less up on what they're doing now. A lot of it got a little more involved in certain strains of kind of modern R&B almost that I'm not as appreciative of personally, although I respect. But from like 2010 to 2016 especially, the Posh Isolation can do no wrong in terms of interesting underground electronic music, especially in post-punk music. A little bit of dark stuff outside of that, but mostly those. Also that Janishev label, which is a tape label. It's the guy from Internazionale does it. It's wonderful. And, all I want to say they're all from Denmark. They're all lovely. I don't think this fellow is from Denmark. Maybe he is. I don't keep tabs on where each individual group. I feel like this guy's from Sweden or Norway though, but he makes some beautiful music. I don't know. Like I wonder, maybe people do dance to this. I don't exactly go to places where this music is played, but for me it feels very much like thinking music. I like that maybe both are an option. That's kind of cool, actually. I don't know. Yeah, as I said, it's comforting, at least to me. Like I still haven't brought myself to doing proper meditations or anything like that. I know some friends have recommended meditation apps or this or that, but I'm not able to quiet my mind like that. Maybe you are. Maybe that's good for you. I'm definitely able to relax with music like this and beers, and for that matter, comforting food. Like I'm not even I am somewhat of a boredom snacker, but I'm not as much as I used to be. But lately during this, it's like, oh, like everything is crazy. But like, like my mom made cookies and sent me cookies. And I'm like, I'm gonna eat a cookie. It's not gonna help me, but it's gonna help. Like I'm not even really a sweets person, but it's been like, oh yeah, this is homemade food. It's good. I've got polenta that I'm looking forward to cooking this soon. I sure am really sharing exciting secrets with you guys, let me tell you. I'm still trying to figure out like when the ideal lighting is. I'm watching my like the red of the light above me get stronger as the sun becomes a little less prominent in the room, and I'm wondering if maybe I didn't leave this light on at all because it's still like bright enough out. It's really hard to say. Like I don't know how people who like do YouTube stuff regularly manage their lighting setups or all that. Like that's totally bizarre to me. Also, a lot of them seem to do it in like these stark white rooms, and I wouldn't want to live in that. That would feel like living in an IKEA showroom to me. Maybe that's just easier for filming. Maybe it's not representative of their home life. But like our whole home is like you can kind of see there's like this kind of like textured background. It's like an actual fabric that is stapled to the wall. And all the walls are painted different colors in our home because you know you want to love where you live, right? Not that people with white homes don't love that, but I live with an artist, and thank goodness I'm not. She's made every surface in this home interesting. I could not be happier to be stuck for weeks in summer than this. Like this is, you know, stay for like a luxury hotel with room service. This is pretty damn cool place to be stuck. I feel like that's the end of that side of the record. Okay. Well, so because I've got a few viewers, I'll let you guys decide. Do we go to the second LP or do I let you go? My life is good either way, and I'm happy either way. So if you guys want to hang out longer, we can keep the mellow techno jams going, or class can be dismissed and you can go live your best lives doing something else. Entirely fine. I'm not seeing any replies to that, so we'll start. And since this music is so, mellow and easygoing, and so if you notice, like each side of the record kind of has its own identity. So it's kind of cool. Like the first one was a little more energetic. The second was a little more soothing. I forget. I feel like this is a little more busy and buzzy. Oh, they even have themes given. I didn't even realize that. I mean, I guess I knew that, but it's not like I sit and look at this a lot. So the side A of the first record was Arrival. Side B, which we just listened to, was Attributes. This has three different themes on it, which is this is Obsession's Flower Combination, and then there's two others, and each theme has multiple tracks within it. So it's interesting. And again, for those who are more newly tuned in, simple, beautiful art to accompany the music, which is a little less simple, but I do feel like at one point he posted he makes these in GarageBand somehow. I almost feel like that's him fucking with people or flexing on people. It's always hard to say. Again, gotta stay hydrated, especially if you're drinking beers, and especially if you're trying not to get sick with anything. We had this song, the title kind of implies some of the harshness here. It's a white and yellow powdered drugs. So, still, I find this comforting. I don't know, since I got a few people tuned in. What do you guys find comforting? We had William Basinski put out. Always looking for new soothing sounds. And I know that soothing comes in a lot of shapes. Nope. It's okay. Right. New Fortet album is gorgeous. I've been told the same. I haven't heard it. I forget if somebody sent it to me or somebody posted it, and I felt like I needed to hear it. I feel like because Fortet is two people, if I recall. I feel like there's a record that I have somewhere in my collection that's one of the members of Fortet, just under his own name. It's just really beautiful, strange electronic stuff. I actually haven't put it on in years, and so you've just given me a reminder of that. So thank you. Doubt it'll be video fodder because I don't remember it being terribly long, but thank you for that. If nothing else, well, a lot more, but thank you for that. Yeah, I thought the identities of the people in Fortet were known. I'm seeing it, so Chris is commenting that it's the same person's burial, and that's clearly not true. The burial guy made his identity known, I thought. And Fortet isn't exactly anonymous either. I thought, but maybe I'm thinking of something else entirely. I'm often wrong. I'm like the opposite of our president. I'm usually convinced I'm not right, except for when telling you about good music to hear. I feel like I'm usually on the mark there, but who knows? So that song was the one theme of Obsession. This is instruments. So will it be more organic sounding? I doubt it. But there's two tracks that are in the instruments theme. So what terraforming sounds like? Yeah, I've never thought about what terraforming would sound like. But that's a strong endorsement. That makes me really interested too. I also like that you're naming the spacecraft as I'm listening to these alien ass electronic sounds. So that makes my night a little better. Thank you. It's good to have people here to talk to. Good to have this happening. For me, at least. I hope it's fun for you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, and somebody hit the little thumbs up button on it. Thank you for that. I'm not in the whole family of like, share, subscribe, but that's kind and I appreciate it. I think it maybe helps with visibility of something. YouTube told me that if I get 1,000 followers, I can live stream from my phone instead of my laptop. But I'm in the 400s, and I don't think that's going to happen, given that I've had this YouTube channel for like 6 years. And I don't need that. Like, everybody I have today is already valuable to me, and you matter as you are. But I think that helps me in some way, so I appreciate it. I'm sure somebody would give me I've received thumbs down and like threats on these too, which honestly I like those just as much because it's like, why would you care enough to threaten me? Like, that's really weird. I don't even give enough of a shit about this, but I'm glad I impacted somebody, I guess. Yeah, that's good. I know that's like so not musical in a lot of the conventional sense of it, but I really like that. Uh, Maybe you guys do too. I didn't know. I didn't think I was dying, but it felt like I may as well be. spending a week at Mount Sinai Hospital in Harlem, just, hooked up to IVs and shit, and meeting a bunch of doctors and thinking like, a year ago I was that sick, and now today I'm able to drink beer and bullshit with people on the internet while playing records in real time. I would have had to get up to be sick multiple times if I was doing this a year ago. I would not be able to sit with you for this long and focus on anything. I was just violently ill last year. Uh, so even though I realize that another illness is really wreaking havoc, it's nice to be on the mend. I'm still not where I need to be. I'm really anxious. I actually have to go get my next treatment on April 1st. And part of me is really scared of that because like I've been good staying inside. Going to a hospital seems like the worst place in the world to go while this shit's going on. So there's some anxiety about that. Part of me wants to tell my doctor like I'll risk skipping a month, but who knows? I'm sure I'll show up and get it and be, fingers crossed I'll be fine. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be doing better. Greedily, I want to do better than just this because I'm still been a shut in, but it's not forever. Nothing is good or bad, but especially the bad. It's good to remember that it's not a permanent state. So we got this kind of creepy farty sound here. It makes me think of salad fingers. Does anybody remember salad fingers? In the early days of the internet, I remember a friend in high school showing me these videos of salad fingers, and they weren't quite sure. I mean, it wasn't quite funny, but it wasn't not funny. It was just really creepy and strange, and I liked it. And I know a lot of it. I want to say that it had Aphex Twins Rhubarb playing in it sometimes, which is really weird to think about now. Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's really cool. I also okay. Now I finally figured out who is talking to me through this identity. That means a lot. Thank you for being here. Salad finger samples though. Like, see, and I'm a complete ding dong, and in my first band that really did something, we used old Greg samples, which isn't nearly as cool. It felt it at the time. Like I didn't know what a meme was, but I guess old Greg was a meme, and so we totally. Oh, I'm probably wrong. Oh, That's really strange and exciting to me then. But that's half the fun of the internet. I'm pretty sure that one of my old friends, who's the live drummer for Lacey Space Cake, my girlfriend's band that I play bass in, was in one of these the other day, but I'm not quite sure. So it's been interesting trying to figure out who some of you are that don't use a full human regular name. It's like, man, who is that talking to me? But I like it anyway. Like it's company, and it's not. I mean, on the internet, a username and a human name are kind of all the same anyway. Yeah, I appreciate the thought of a salad finger sample. I'm sure it's not any of the fingers on Rust, but I remember being like 15 and seeing that and thinking it was really absurd and appreciating the absurdity of it. That may actually be another source of comfort for me. So now I may have to go and watch some Salad Fingers videos now. And listen to Impavita for that matter too. That sounds good. Charlie the Unicorn was a thing when I was a teenager, but when I was an older teenager, my little sister showed it to me, and I think just out of pure spitefulness, I didn't like it. I don't. Maybe I'd see it now and think it was cute and funny, but I remember at the time finding it mostly annoying. But also, bear in mind, I had a younger sibling who was quoting it to me while it was happening. So, I mean, there's every possibility that it was actually really funny and clever. And I was just annoyed with my sister. I love her dearly now, but when you're a teenager, when you're a teenager, it's always hard to kind of frame things. But yeah, I mean, and even that, I mean, she's 30 now, so it's not like, you know, yeah, Impavita does hold up. I just had a moment. Sorry, because I mentioned my sister's age. I forgot how old I was for a second, which people older than me do often. Be like, oh, I forgot how old I am. And I've never actually thought that would happen to me. But just for a moment, I'm like, yeah, I'm 32. But for a second, I forgot if I was 32 or 33 because just, what the fuck is time? And especially right now, like, I realize I keep every day in my phone like a journal of, it sounds silly, but like how I'm feeling and what I've eaten because with a digestive disease, you kind of have to. Uh, and I also like some part of me is just like living in two separate days at once. So I guess it doesn't surprise me that I forgot I was not older than I am. I don't know. Life is weird. Anyways, we're nearly an hour deep into this, and I really appreciate you guys being here. But I think that when this side of this record ends, I'm going to call it good. It's very kind of you to be here. But I also have no need to keep you so long. And to be fair, I also don't have a whole lot to say other than just, sharing my gratitude. Um, I think tomorrow I'm going to try to prepare a little better and share some of my top picks from 2018 and 2019. Since I literally in 2019 didn't film a single video, I thought I'd share some of the tapes and records that were like the best of for a 2 year period straight. Rather than playing them all tomorrow, I'll just kind of, probably put on a couple cuts from one, a couple from another, and share as I go. You know, others that I'm not playing anything from. So we've still got one track left on this, which I thought, oh, and it's a beautiful one, yeah. Thank you. It's cool to be here, and I'm having fun doing this. But I'm also very cognizant of even though it's not like any of us are super busy, everybody has something else they could be doing with their time. We live in a world that is all based on attention. Everything wants your attention, whether it's something as silly as like social media or other people in your life or artists making art that you should be paying attention to, like the one I'm playing now, or like the dozens that have published albums on Bandcamp today alone. So thank you. I know that I think isn't the phrase like an attention economy. I have no fucking clue. I'm 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 a foolish person who occasionally gets things right, and so it's good to be able to share things and speak. Um, yeah. As we wind down, I'll remind you, no obligation. I have a Patreon that you don't have to give a penny to, but if you go to it, I'm posting a playlist every day of 10 songs that I'm finding worthwhile to me that might be worthwhile to you. Um, Again, you don't have to give me any money. It's all public. The Patreon is not pay gated in any though. But certainly much rather be back at work earning regular money. And this shit's going on, so we're all financially strapped. If you want to throw me a buck or two, you can. But yeah, today I published a playlist about comfort, much like this. yesterday was great. Tomorrow, who knows what it will be. So that's been fun for me. You may take some joy from it as well. Uh, I'll put a link to somewhere you can hear this. I don't think this is on Bandcamp, regrettably. It might be on Spotify. If not, I know it's on YouTube, but it's usually the last thing I'd like to link to just in terms of benefiting the artist. Uh, and of course, I'll put a link to The Alchemist to make Heady Topper. Uh, if any of you ever have anything you want to share with me, you can find me on Twitter at Black Metal Brews, or my email is blackmetalandbrews@gmail.com. And or you can talk to me during a live chat if you're here when it's live. Thank you. Uh, I'm also on Facebook, Black Metal Brews, and Instagram. Instagram's more of a person. Anyway, we're gonna wind down now. So I'm Ben. You're you. This is Black Metal Brews. I'm so glad that you've been a part of this, especially going real long today. Thank you. Cheers. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Be well.